Amazing. I go to the next thing about paradigms of leadership. Paradigms mean, the various viewpoints that have been cascaded, promoted over time in the school of leadership. The earliest school of leadership is the simplistic paradigm, which equated leadership as good management. Then other people came and they defined management as a process, they defined leadership as a process of leading. This is called a semantic school. Then there came another school later on that defined leadership as a social exchange between leaders and followers. That is, there's a social exchange. The leaders give something, the followers give something, and that's when the leaders give what they should give, the followers therefore will respond by following. Okay, is more of transactional school. Okay, that's the transactional school. Then there came a later school of scholars in the leadership school. They said leadership is a phenomenon that precedes and facilitates decisions and actions. This is the leadership notion of the situational school. The situational theory presupposes that leadership is a phenomenon that precedes and facilitates decision making. That is, I will get to that, in detail, but you must understand that, they presuppose that leadership is not just a one-off kind of phenomenon. Okay, it is something that is dictated by the situation you face, the circumstance you are in, and so you display a different kind of leadership for different circumstances. And the situational theorists also say that, therefore, there are different kinds of leadership styles that are appropriate for different situations, and that at different phase and at different stage of life, you must change your leadership style to meet the situation at hand and the phase at hand and the challenges at hand. And they say also for a country, therefore, at different levels of development, and for corporate bodies also, at different stages of their life cycle, you need different kinds of leaders. That's what the situational school says. Then, most recently, also, there are some people who are of the aesthetic concept. They said leadership is an art, leadership is a craft. It's not just a science of cut and dry. That is, it's something that leverages on your personality, how you go about it, and all is unique to individuals. That's what they're saying. Okay, and we have other schools, that are also upcoming. But these are the basic paradigms that we have even generally today. And along the trends of leadership theories, we've had what we call the great man theory, which presupposes that leadership are born. Leaders are born rather. And this is the theory where you had in those days, they said the royal people have blue blood. There is what we call royal blood. As if you cut their vein, the color of the blood will be different. That was the earliest held theory in the school of leadership. They said leaders are born, leaders are not made. But we have known today that even those that came out of even the ghetto, they can become great leaders if you take them through structured developmental training in leadership. And that's why we are taking you to this structured developmental training in developing leadership competences. And I must let you know upfront, all of you have the potential of becoming great leaders, first leading yourself, then leading others and leading organizations. You can do it if you are committed and intentional towards it. And if you take an action based on the things you will learn today. You must plan, you must reflect, and you must practicalize. Just like you had John Maxwell, said that video we started with earlier on. Another theory that came later on after the great man theory is called the trait theory. The trait theory believe that when you see particular kinds of qualities in people, then they will be leaders. Okay, the trait theory is still used by many organizations today. Okay, you look at for particular characteristics, particular qualities in people, and you said that is leadership. Maybe he can speak well. Maybe he's bold. He's courageous. These are some of the traits that people pick. Another school came with the theory of skills. This is the to-do school. That is, leaders must be able to do certain things. When maybe they have skill for conceptual skill, analytical skill, management skill. He said when you see some of these skills, then they are skills that point to leadership. All right. So some other theorists, scholars came up with the style theory of leadership. The style theory presupposes that the way in which you go towards leading people, and this style theory can be from the do nothing style to the do everything style, the laissez-faire to the autocratic. Do something, do nothing to do all things. You don't allow anyone to do all things. That's the autocratic. You are doing a free willing. You just allow anything to go. That is laissez-faire. That is the do nothing school. That is the continuum of leadership styles. And we'll look at this further. The situational leadership, presupposes leaders should change with situation at hand. All right, you should adapt, you should adjust, and you should be able to change your style. You should be able to change even your approach, even based on the situation at hand. That's what that says. The contingency leadership presupposes that situations is linked to situational style, but it's different. It says that different situations in the organization will throw up different leaders. For instance, it was said that Roosevelt was a leader thrown up by a particular period in the history of US. Okay, and several leaders, are thrown up by particular situations, even that the nations, the business even have. I want to talk about, for instance, MTN. When MTN came to Nigeria, because even they were playing against a force in the market, which was at that time, remember the force in the market at that time? That's the one you call Airtel now, but then it was not Airtel. I think it was Econet then. Okay, Econet was the first telecom provider in Nigeria. Okay, in the early 90s or so. All right, and so when MTN came, they knew that they were playing a second fiddle game. So they knew that from their base in South Africa, they must have a CEO in Nigeria, being the largest market in Africa. A CEO that knows how to play the games of politics, knows how to knock the door of the presidency, and almost be in bed, if I use that, advisedly, with the president. And so they brought a CEO that knows how to play politics very well. And indeed, he moved MTN into that position where they became the market leader. They had the ears, they had even the attention of the presidency, and that gave them a leeway even above Econet in those days. And when it came to a time in the face of Econet, or in the face of MTN, they saw that now they have had the ear, now they have had the attention of the presidency. Now they must build structures to validate the fact that they are the first in the market, the first to be reckoned with in the market. So they changed that CEO, not because he was not performing, but because his relevance, he has finished the objective that was set for him. So they changed that CEO to a CEO now who was a technically led person, who knows how to build masts. And so that is when they came up with wherever you go as their maxim and their dictum. So MTN built masts all over the nation, even on the IC. So much that, don't forget also, by the NCC rule, you must understand that there are advisory on distance between mast to mast, so that it will not be injurious to human health. So, but MTN has filled out every place with mast. So they have leveraged on the advantage of first to the market in building mast via this new technology-driven CEO. So all other providers had to do co-hosting, sharing on the platform of MTN. So MTN became a service provider to those service providers. That is how to lead. You think ahead. you front lead, you leapfrog to take advantage. That was what MTN did, using the theory of contingency leadership, looking at where they are at the point in time and what leader they needed to bring on board at point in time. So this is how to do it. That's an example. The transactional leader is a leader that leads with carrot and stick, and that's what this theory says. It's all about reward and punishment. Reward and punishment. Recompense even is all that the transactional style uses even to get people into line, get people into doing things. The transformational leadership, I said, is different from inside to outside because it sells, it implants the strategy. The transformational leader implants the vision in his followers or our followers. And so the followers, because they feel that they have bought it, they buy the vision as their own. And so they pursue the goal as their own. All right? So, the transformational leader cultivates people, okay, to doing, not beating them into line to doing. So that's what the transformational theory is all about. The leader-member exchange theory, LMX, presupposes that leaders and followers are in groups, we call it in-groups and out-groups. You can be in the in-group of your leader or the out-group of your leader. The leadership member exchange theory presupposes that if you are within the in-group of your leader, you will be able to access resources, information, opportunities that the out-group members do not have. And what makes you to fall into the in-group? How the leader perceives that you are contributing towards the vision and the goal that he has set and where the organization is going. So if the leader perceives, let me tell you, everyone on this call, no leader likes someone who is drawing him or her back from achieving organizational goal or vision. So when you are envious of someone and saying he's the CEO boy, CEO girl, there is no CEO boy, CEO girl because they are related or they are by blood. What makes you a CEO boy or CEO girl is how you are helping the CEO to achieve intended vision and goals. So if you want to become part of the in-group, change your attitude and change your performance. Very soon, you become part of the in-group. Some of the privileges, information, resources within the in-group, they are not exposed to the out-group. That's what the leadership member and exchange theory talks about. The most common theory of late is called the servant leadership, which is a combination of both the transactional and the transformational leadership. So there are times when you need to be transactional. There are times when you need to be transformational. So there's a blend, knowing that no single situation requires even a single solution. So that is what the servant leadership is about. Showing example, leading by example, okay, helping the people to internalize even where you are going, what you are all about, so that they will be motivated to doing it. But at times when there are some people within that needs carrot and stick, reward and punishment, you also give it to them. So it's a blend. You use also the situational approach where you need to use it. So the servant leadership is a combination of whatever is practicable, okay, to just get your organization towards where it should be. That is what servant leadership is about. I hope this is very clear at this point in time. Please let me